Hey guys, the story I'm going to share this week is about why I don't like bullies. Um, it doesn't have so much to do with survival, but just my experiences with them. It goes way back to when I lived in Florida. At the time, I was about probably 6 years old, and I was in the first grade. The school that I used to go to, I won't say what the name of it is, but at the school, um, there was this one teacher in particular, and what she used to do, the way the whole thing started, was she used to have me sit next to her. And so I would sit next to her, and we would go over our classwork and our homework and whatnot. So one day, I don't know what it was with her, but she asked me to answer a problem. And so I got the problem wrong. And when I got the answer wrong, she just balled her fist up and she reached over and she just flat out whacked me as hard as she could right in the stomach, and she knocked me out of the chair. So she knocks me out of the chair and I fall on the ground. So while I'm on the ground, she tells me to get up. And so at the time, I'm just a little kid. I'm like maybe around 3 foot something. So she she always wore these high heels, and I'll never forget those high heels because when I hit the ground, she started kicking me, and the heels actually hurt more than her fist did. So she stomped on me a couple times also, and then eventually she let me get up. And no one in the classroom said anything. So this went on for most of the school year. And during this entire time, I used to always go home with cuts, bruises, scratches, bleeding, whatnot, the whole nine. And during all these beatings, there was another teacher in the classroom. There was an assistant. She'll remain nameless as well. But she used to sit there and watch me take these beatings every single day until the teacher mentioned would finally get tired of beating me and she would stop. So one day, I go to the principal's office and I tell the principal what's going on. He decides not to do anything. So when I get back, she finds out and she beats me again for it. So this time she beats me to the point where like I got a busted lip and everything. And so I started going to other teachers for help. None of the teachers would not do a thing. They wouldn't even think to look into it. So one day I went home and I told my grandma, and she saw the cuts, she saw the bruises, she saw the scratches, and she finally got fed up with it. And she talked to the school. Again, school wouldn't do anything. So we went ahead and we moved out of that city to another city. So I'm thinking, okay, well, I'm at a new city. I'm in a new city now, new school. Probably things will be different. Around this time, I'm about 7, going on 8 years old, and so I'm thinking it's different. When I get to the school, same thing, except this time it's actually kids. And there was this one group of kids in particular that used to bully me every single day. Every day, from the time I would go to school to the time I go home. And these kids would keep doing it. So one day, my cousin was taking karate. And so I asked him to teach me a little bit of what he knew. So he said, okay. And the next time he came to visit me, he taught me some stuff. And so I happened to be walking home from school one day, and this was in the second grade. I happened to be walking home from school one day. So the same kid and his friends that always bullied me walked up to me, surrounded us as usual. Well, they tried to surround us and they got us in like a semicircle. So it was me and my cousin. And Again, he started the way he normally does, and he starts pushing me, and his friends are laughing and everything. So he ends up getting distracted by something, and he looks off he looks off at a distance. And as soon as he turns his head to look, I take one big step and I kick him flat out right in his chin. And he falls over, and I grab my cousin by the hand, and me and her take off running as fast as we can. And his friends, they think about chasing us, but they're still looking at him laying on the ground, so they leave us alone while we run off. Because I'm guessing they didn't know if they should chase after us, if they should try to help their friend and see if he's all right. So we had left, and then pretty much after that kick to the face, he left me alone, and nobody didn't bully me too much more in middle school. I mean, not elementary school. So fast forward, I go to high school. So I make it to high school, and as I make it to high school, not high school, middle school, I make it to middle school, and as I make it to middle school, I'm thinking, okay, middle school, I'm finally going to be done. No more bullies. So, same thing in middle school. It happened a little bit with kids my own age, but then eventually it turned to the point where I just got fed up with it and I stood up for myself. But then it actually changed. It went right back to teachers again. And again, these group of teachers will remain nameless. And they were primarily my gym teachers and other people's gym teachers. And there was one gym teacher I had that stood up for me, always stood up for me. And while these gym teachers make fun of me, and then it didn't stop with the gym teachers, it spread to my other teachers. And so they always make fun of me, calling me a mute and stuff like that, because I didn't want to talk to people. I usually kept to myself, minding my business, because that's how I was raised. So I keep to myself and I mind my business, and so they make fun of me, call me a mute, call me this, call me that, and every day they pick on me, even the teachers. And then one day, made it to 8th grade, and there was one teacher that really, really loved to pick on me. Time and time again, every single day, she would never give it a break. So one day, her and the classroom were sitting there talking, having a discussion, and they were wanting to read a book, and this was English class. So there was one teacher in there that actually was okay with me, and she was actually a really nice lady. And so she was pregnant, she was about to go on maternity leave. And so this teacher and the other kids started making fun of me. And because she had asked me, this teacher, we'll call her Miss M, she was a nice one, she asked me to read. And again, she was one of the two teachers that stuck up for me when I was in middle school. So she asked me to read, and so the other teacher, her and the kids started making fun of me, saying, he can't read, he's a mute, don't listen to him, and blah, blah, blah. So I stood up, because class was almost over anyway, and it was almost time to go home. So I stood up, read the package, and after read the passage, and after I finished the passage, I gave them all a finger, told them, you know what, screw you, goodbye. And I left them. So to this day now, I do not tolerate bullies. If I see someone bullying someone else, I will automatically step in the middle of it and make it my business. Never will I let someone get bullied by someone else, because it's not cool. And the sad thing is that, I don't know if it's like that now, I'm sure it still is, but teachers are actually making it a lot worse than the students are, and that's the thing that's sad about it. But anyway, thanks for listening to my story, and that's my reason on why I don't tolerate bullies. Thanks.